Right friends, welcome back to English Comprehension and Vocabulary, and today we are going to deliberate on the Economic Times editorial, that is bad loans call for a political solution, and tomorrow our discussion is compensate banks for farm loan waivers. This is Economic Times editorial of 19th. So today we are going to deliberate on bad loans call for a political solution. Here compensate banks for farm loan waivers. Tomorrow we are going to deliberate on what is meant by interest subvention, what is priority sector lending, what is the problem with farm loans and how it affects the banking system, what is meant by write-off. All those things we will deliberate tomorrow, and today our discussion is bad loans. Before going to the bad loans, here one important aspect, please don't forget, this Bank Boards Bureau is established in our country. Bank Boards Bureau is established, and Vinod Rai is the first and the present chairman, and 3 other members are there, basically to look at the health of public sector banks. So this is established based on PJ Nayak committee recommendations. So these things please don't forget. And non-performing asset. What is meant by non-performing asset? The present article is with regard to the bad loans. Before understanding this passage, let us look at what is meant by non-performing asset. Non-performing asset is the asset. Asset means loan. Please understand, in the banking system, deposits are liabilities. For the banks, our deposits are liabilities, and loans are assets for the banks. Loans are assets because of the reason they generate income for them. So here asset means loan, performing loan. Performing loan means the loan which is performing indicates that the bank is getting every month equated monthly installment or EMI. So when the loan is paid back, there is no problem, but when it is not paid back, that is non-performing asset. Now in the banking system, non-performing assets increased abnormally, so that is the problem, right? So here non-performing asset means interest or installment of principal remain overdue for a period of more than 90 days in respect of a term loan. So if the interest or principal or both remain overdue for a period of more than 90 days, then that is classified as non-performing asset. So the asset or loan which ceased to generate income for more than 90 days, that is non-performing asset. And here when the person stopped paying back, so here after 90 days, it becomes this NPA. So after 90 days it becomes non-performing asset. First 12 months it is known as a substandard asset. So after becoming non-performing asset, during the first 12 months it is known as substandard asset, and beyond 12 months it is a doubtful asset. So substandard asset and doubtful asset, and after 90 days it is non-performing asset. So this terminology please don't forget. Reasons for more NPAs, and in fact NPAs increased from 2013 to 2015, and subsequently also they are increasing till today. So there are several reasons. One reason which is not written here is political interference in granting loans by the public sector banks. That is one main reason, and the remaining reasons I have given here: macroeconomic situation, increased interest rates in recent past, and aggressive lending by banks during good times, system based identification by scheduled commercial banks because of pressure from the then Governor of Reserve Bank of India, Raghuram Rajan, and some sectors are faring badly due to several problems, and willful defaulting is also there in some cases. So in case of non-performing assets, what banks can do? If bank feels there is genuine reason, then they can go for restructuring the loan. When there is no genuine reason for failing to pay back, then there are several options left for the banks. So, we discussed several times about this restructuring of loans when there is genuine reason. When there is no genuine reason, there are several aspects. One is debt recovery tribunal. Bank can go to debt recovery tribunals, but it is long drawn procedure. Asset reconstruction companies, here asset reconstruction companies came up subsequent to SARFAESI Act, but they are purchasing the loans at lesser rates. Lot of haircut is there, so banks are not agreeing to it. Third one is criminal cases can be filed when the default is willful. Then winding up petitions can be filed in a court of law. This is also long drawn procedure. Then strategic debt restructuring can be done here. Debt can be converted to equity. So, like this several mechanisms are there, and recently public sector asset rehabilitation agency was recommended. In the economic survey, public sector asset rehabilitation agency or bad bank was recommended to take care of bad loans, right. So, here this is public sector asset rehabilitation agency as mentioned in economic survey 1617, and here a fine balance is to be maintained between institutional accountability and autonomy, but PSBs must agree to the losses, right. So, we discussed briefly about non-performing assets, and here let us come back to the passage. Bad loans call for a political solution. The meaning is some decision is to be taken at the political level by the government, otherwise this problem will not go away. The essence of the editorial is some decision must be taken at the political level or government level, otherwise this problem will not go away. Bank's board bureau chairman Vinod Rai has written to the finance minister and prime minister's office about the need to expedite means to make it something fast, to expedite restructuring of the bank's bad loan portfolio. Bank board's bureau chairman Vinod Rai has written to the finance minister and the prime minister's office about the need to expedite restructuring of the bank's bad loans portfolio, right. So, here restructuring means act of organizing a company or business to operate it more effectively. So, restructuring is the need of the hour, and here twin balance sheet problem was mentioned in economic survey. The problem of twin balance sheet is because of these bad loans, companies are affected on one side, public sector banks are affected on the other side. Public sector banks are affected, companies are affected, both are affected, both are not able to come out of it, both are not able to come out of this mess. That is known as twin balance sheet problem. So, Vinod Rai rightly pointed out to the finance minister and the prime minister's office with the need to fast track the bad loans portfolio by restructuring. Then he has reportedly suggested. So, the recent incident, that is why he has recently reportedly suggested expanding the role of the oversight committee and some technical refinements. So, here the role of expanding committee as well as technical refinements, these are required, he suggested, but the problem holding up bad loan restructuring is not technical in nature, rather it is political. So, the editorial says Bank Board's Bureau Chief Vinod Rai has written to both Finance Minister and Prime Minister's office to restructure the bank's bad loans portfolio, but the problem is something else. That is why he used rather. But the problem holding up bad loan restructuring is not technical in nature. Vinod Rai talked about technical details, refining the organizational structure, giving more powers to oversight committee, but that will not solve the problem. The problem is something which is to be solved at the political level. Rather, it is political, rather expressing an opposite opinion. So, here, but the problem holding up bad loan restructuring is not technical in nature, rather it is political. That means government has to take a conscious decision to come out of this problem, because bad loan problem is a political problem now. It cannot be solved with changing the rules and regulations. The reasons also he is telling. Loan restructuring will entail banks taking a haircut substantial in many cases. Here loan restructuring will entail, that means will make it necessary for the banks. Entail, please understand, entail means to make something necessary. So, loan restructuring will make it necessary for the banks to take haircut. Haircut has got two meanings, we discussed. This is one haircut. Other haircut is reduction in the amount of money. So, to solve this problem, banks, to come out of this problem, large haircuts are required. The meaning of haircut is when bank loan portfolio is 100 crores, bank make it 50 crores or 40 crores. So, that 50 crores is haircut. If bank's loan is 100 crores, if they are getting 40 crores while solving the bad loan problem, the 60 crores which the bank is losing is haircut or the loss or the reduction in the amount of money. So, the haircut is reduction in the amount of money. So, to solve this problem, it is necessary to take substantial losses or haircuts. Bank chairman want the assurance that they would not be held responsible for this. The basic problem is bank chairman do not want to take risk, because if 100 crore loan is solved with rupees 40 crore, then there is every possibility that a CBI may hound that bank chairman. Have you got my point? So, if 100 crore loan is finally solved with 40 crores, then bank may lose 60 crores. It may be inevitable, it may be necessary, but who will understand? Then tomorrow CBI and vigilance may go behind the bank CEOs even after their retirement. So, bank chairman want the assurance that they would not be held responsible for this. Right? So, here haircut we discussed. No one wants to go to jail. So, banks chairman want the assurance, no one wants to go to jail for causing loss to the state owned banks. I explained you clearly, if 100 crores loan is there, 40 crores is the amount which they are getting by solving the problem of bad loan, then that 60 crore loss will be there. If some CBI goes tomorrow and arrests the CBI of the bank, arrests the CEO of bank, then what will happen? He has to go to jail. So, no one would not like to go to jail. So, here and thereby to the exchequer. So, exchequer means basically government department that receives and gives out public money is the exchequer, or you can say national treasury. So, with the intention or with the allegation that you caused loss to the government treasury. So, here bank chairman do not want to go to jail. This means that the government must give them political cover. So, the decision is to be taken politically. So, if the bank manager is taking the decision, then they should have assurance that no one will interfere, CBI will not go, vigilance will not go, file the cases tomorrow. So, that is the nub of the challenge. Here, nub of the challenge. Nub means most important aspect of the situation. So, the crux of the problem. So, this is the crux of the challenge. This is the most important aspect of the challenge. Now, after its electoral success in Uttar Pradesh, the Narendra Modi government has the political capital. That means has got the political power to take this type of decision, to push for banks to take some discounts on loans that have gone sour. So, the loan has gone sour means it became NPA. So, here now Narendra Modi with the victories in Uttar Pradesh especially as well as Uttarakhand, he got the political capital. So, he got the political mandate to take some bold decisions in the interest of the nation, otherwise bank chairman may not be able to take any decision. So, here they should take some bold decisions and has the political capital to push for banks to take some discounts on loans that have gone soar, convert debt to equity and find new buyers for these. Soar, so here nub I explained you the crux of the problem or the most important aspect. Soar, what is, how to understand this? There are two meanings. There is some wine and when that became acid taste like lemon or vinegar, then we use sour, S-O-U-R, and in the other meaning, if you look at other meaning, this is becoming unpleasant or unfriendly. The relations between Pakistan and India have soared in recent times. Then debt equity. So, banks should have liberty to take decisions, to give the discounts, to take haircut, and banks should have sufficient powers to convert debt into equity, that means loan. Here when somebody purchased shares, then that is known as equity. When I am purchasing shares in Reliance Industries, this is equity. So, person X is equity, person Y is basically purchasing debentures, that means he is giving a loan to Reliance Industries. So, this is debt. Debt means loan, equity means ownership. So, banks must be given leverage to convert debt into equity. So, if the particular company is not able to pay back, convert part of it, the part of that debt into equity. So, all these things are possible when the political cover or the Prime Minister gives assurance that you will not be hounded by CBI or vigilance. The government has been hesitant to push hard on this. Government is hesitant. Hesitant means unsure, tentative, slow in action is known as hesitant. Not able to take a decision is hesitant. Not able to push something through is hesitant. So, government is slow in taking action, that is hesitant. The government has been hesitant to push very hard on this because it fears that, because the fear is it will be accused of crony capitalism. What is meant by crony capitalism? If government takes that decision that bank CEOs please take independent decisions, no CBI inquiry, no vigilance inquiry. If government takes that decision, then allegations may be there on the government that government is going for crony capitalism. What is crony capitalism? Crony capitalism is the economic system, mutually advantageous relationship between the political leaders and the companies or organizations. If I go to some member of parliament and if I get some benefit by giving him some money, that is crony capitalism. If I am heading a company, if I go to some minister and minister gave me some benefits to me only, exclusively, minister gave me some benefits and in return I gave some money to the minister. So, that is crony capitalism. So, the economic system characterized by close mutually advantageous relationship between the government officials and the business leaders is crony capitalism. So, if government takes this decision, if Modi's government takes this decision, then there may be allegations of crony capitalism. The government has been hesitant. Why the government is hesitant? Because it is fearing that people may throw allegations of crony capitalism. So, the government has been hesitant to push very hard on this because it fears that it will be accused of crony capitalism by opposition parties. Today, with increased political capital, New Delhi must not run from opposition jibes. Here now there is a lot of political capital. Now the Bharatiya Janata Party government is quite strong in the country, and you should not fear about this opposition jibes. People will definitely comment if you take some decision with regard to crony capitalism, but you must not run away from opposition jibes. What is the meaning of jibes? Insulting or mocking remark is jibe. Here in India in recent times, jibes by various political leaders are becoming quite common. So, opposition parties will allege that there is crony capitalism and there will be insulting remarks, there will be jibes from opposition parties, but with a lot of political capital, the present government with public mandate should not run away from the duties. Please take a bold decision, please take the decision, otherwise banks will not come out of this mess. The reassurance to public sector bank managements, that they will not be hounded for accepting haircuts by giving a lot of discounts to clear their balance sheets, or you can say to clear their books. They are required to give haircuts, or you can say they are required to give discounts, and once they give discount, they should not be hounded by CBI or Enforcement Directorate. So, this CBI or Enforcement Directorate, they should not be behind bank officials. So, the meaning of hound is that is one, because you want to get something from them. So, the CBI or intelligence or CBI or Enforcement Directorate must not hound the bank officials, or you can say they should not be behind the bank officials. So, the reassurance, what the public sector banks want, they want reassurance that they will not be hounded for accepting haircuts to clear up their books by agencies like CBI and Enforcement Directorate is essential to resolve the banking crisis. So, this accepting the haircuts is essential to resolve the banking crisis. Please leave the statement between two commas and continue the sentence, then you will understand. So, here you see, for accepting haircuts to clear up their books is essential to resolve the banking crisis, right. The next one is, otherwise the bank liquidity crisis and NPA levels will spiral out of control, choking lending and growth. So, it will stifle lending and growth. So, the lending and growth will be stifled. So, lending, here the credit growth is just 5% during the past 9 months. Please understand, when the GDP growth is 7%, then credit growth is expected to be at least 2.5 times. When GDP growth is 7%, the credit growth is expected to be around 16-17%, but credit growth during the past 9-10 months is just 5%. So, the bank liquidity crisis, NPA levels will spiral out of control. Spiral means the process of deterioration through continuous increase. So, if government do not give assurance to the bank chiefs, then the NPA crisis can never be solved and things will go out of control, will spiral out of control means will deteriorate further. In other words, spurring further investment and growth in the economy, spurring further investment, spurring means to encourage the activity, that means, in other words, spurring, that means to encourage further investment and growth in the economy, hinges on political rather than technocratic decisions. Hinges means depends on political rather than technocratic decisions. Why he is writing this? Initially, Vinod Rai suggested that some technical changes are required, but the editorial argues technical decisions will not solve this problem. If bank managers take some decision, then they will be hounded by CBI for taking the haircuts. So, some political decision is required, that when banks take some decisions, then they should not be hounded by the CBI or Enforcement Directorate. So, technocratic decisions will not solve this problem, only political decision will solve the problem. If the problem is not solved by Narendra Modi government, ultimately NPAs will spiral out of control and it will stifle growth, and at the same time there will not be further investment and growth in the economy. The point is for the government to lose no further time to take remedial action. The point is, before going out of control further, government should take immediate remedial action. So, this is the advice given. So, to Narendra Modi government, please take decision and give confidence to the bank chiefs that they will not be hounded by CBI or vigilance later. So, this is the crux of the yesterday's editorial of the Economic Times. Tomorrow we are going to deliberate on the Economic Times editorial of 19th March. This talks about compensate banks for farm loan waivers. Basically, this we are going to deliberate tomorrow basically on the as well as the priority sector lending, what is meant by interest subvention. So, some new words also we learn in tomorrow's lecture. So, friends, have a nice day. Thank you.